as you look at why you found yourself going to Moorhead State, where you and I met so many years ago, at what point did you finally decide that this actually makes sense to me?
I think kind of, well, in a lot of ways from the very beginning, because I took commercial art when I was in high school at the Votech Center.
Nice.
So
you had to reach for it. You had to really go out of your way for it.
I did. I had to ride the bus, and I had to face the humiliation of going to the Votech Center with all of the other people who were going there for Votech. In fact, I was a member of VICA, Vocational Industrial Clubs of America.
We had a strong VICA program at West Fargo High School. Yeah.
Because I thought it would look good on a college application.
Yeah, VICA.
VICA.
VICA in West Fargo were real trendsetters, because I remember back in 1984. I remember back in '84 when I was a freshman or a sophomore. The VICA had their own store at my high school, and they
VICA, not DECA?
No, VICA. Fuck y'all and DECA. VICA had their own store. But they had their own store, and they had this new thing called MTV. And they would play MTV on a little 8-inch or 10-inch black and white TV, and you would have just a ring of students skipping lunch to go watch MTV. Because not many people had cable back then.
Yeah, VICA wasn't cool at Century High School in Bismarck, North Dakota. It was just something to write on a resume.
And that got you where you are today.
Yeah.
From the VICA.
Yeah. But yeah, so I had commercial art in high school, and it was, I just liked it because it was art, but art with a reason. It was art I could understand. And I don't know, it was just cool. And then when I went to Moorhead State, which I went to purely because it was affordable. Mm-hmm. Yep. It was completely random choice. Like, fine, I'll just go to Moorhead. They'll give me a scholarship. And
scholarship. You were royalty.
Yeah. I even argued my point that I had every right to get I deserved both an academic scholarship and a talent scholarship, damn it, even though they wanted to take one away from me, like, ooh, we can't give you 2 scholarships.
Did you win?
Yeah, I think I talked them into it.
Nice.
It was like $500, you know?
It's a big deal. Woo! Yeah, you can drink a lot of Kirby's beer for $500.
That's true. I paid my rent for like 5 months.
Yeah.
In Fargo.
John Forss might not have any kind of insight on this, but I remember getting an entire house in Fargo for under $200.
Yeah.
And I remember moving to Minneapolis in '92 and getting an apartment for $200, like a big 1-bedroom, and I thought that was just highway robbery.
Yes.
That I had to pay $200 a whole month for an apartment.
Well, when I ended up at Moorhead, I took I thought for a while I wanted to do illustration. I knew I was going to be an art major.
Yeah, because you're an illustrator.
Well, I thought I wanted to do illustration because I was like, ooh, I can draw, but I can draw with an assignment. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I found out
you had some experience doing some store signage.
Yes, and then I realized, oh, I can't actually draw. I'm not very good at this. Mm-hmm. No, so that was after just one intro to illustration. Then I went, oh, maybe not. Maybe design. I think design would be better. So I didn't really waffle a whole lot. I kind of always knew what I wanted to do.
So when it came to Minneapolis, because you and I moved here about the same time, I think, or thereabouts the same time.
I think you moved over here a couple of years before I did.
What made you decide that Minneapolis is where you wanted to be? Because it was a weird. I remember that time a lot because you and I were both graduating at the same time, and I sort of fell in love with Minneapolis for weird reasons. But what made you decide to come here, and then lure John here for fuck's sake?
I really wanted. I was why did I move here? Because I really liked the design studios. I made lists of all of the studios I wanted to work at, and most of them were in Minneapolis.
Really?
And that was because I knew most of them, and because Moorhead was so good at keeping you informed of who the design studios were.
Yeah, and they made you go there. Like there's this really forced. It was like forced feeding program where you had to go to all the cities here.
I really liked them. It wasn't like I felt like I was settling or in any way stepping down. But then the other places, if I'd been offered anything or if I'd had any feedback at all from some place, like in Seattle was the other place because, late 80s, woo, Seattle, Modern Dog, woohoo, or
heroin, yay, look at that,
whatever,
awesome.
rock and roll posters, cool. Mm-hmm. But
Skinny pants. Lots of
Yeah.
skinny pants.
And I never had any.
Hold on a second. Andrew, right here, buddy. Come on. Hook me up. Yeah, come on. Yeah. No, I don't think so, actually.
Why doesn't John make you one?
Oh, John, if you wouldn't mind mixing, that'd be lovely. Not to interrupt you, Sarah, but because
Well, why don't you give him the glass, though?
because I truly remember when you left, you could have gone anywhere if you wanted to. But Minneapolis was sort of lucky that it kind of found you here, or you sort of showed up here. If you hadn't come to Minneapolis, where were you thinking of going otherwise?
Probably Seattle. And I think what I liked about Seattle is it was a lot like Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I felt comfortable there. I mean, comfortable, but to me that was still not so comfortable that it wasn't exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It was comfortable enough where I felt like I wouldn't be terrified, which would be New York. New York,
Yeah.
I would have been paralyzed with fear.
The thing about practicality, actually, your point about practicality actually makes a ton of sense to me, because I remember going to New York at the same time and kind of getting the shit scared out of me and going out there. And I got an offer at a joint. But I remember coming back to Minneapolis and actually just feeling really, I don't know, kind of weirdly welcome. Like sort of welcome here.
Yeah.
And now, of course, now that I've put a couple decades into this fucking place, there is a weird meritocracy here. Like I've seen this happen over and over again. Like if you come here and you're really earnest and you do, like you're really sort of honest about your work, you really do sort of succeed. And that's all it really takes.
Yeah, I think you succeed here more with honesty and hard work than you would in New York, where it would be more. Not to say that New York designers are dishonest. There's just so many more people there.
Yeah, and there's so much maneuvering.
Yeah,
there's just
there's
so
a-
much maneuvering
and
that
here-
goes on.
I love that.
Look at that. Look at that. We got a pro. We got a real honest to God. Whoa, we got a honest to God pro. That's right. That's the way she goes. Gracias, amigo. Gracias.
I
Yeah.
love that here it's all. I mean, look, we've got 3 different studios in one boat.
Yes.
3 different studios in a boat.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
And it just. I love that it's.
And none of them sober. What about that? Not one of them sober. That more than anything else. What a testament.
I love that there's a sense of community here that isn't it's competitive, but only competitive in a good way. Like you want to be as good or better than your neighbor.
Yeah.
But
You
you don't
really
want to.
you really don't
you
wanna
don't want
suck.
to smash your
Yeah.
competitor. You want them to succeed too, but you just want to be slightly better.
Yeah. We're just I don't know. You kind of don't want to suck, and you don't want to. I don't know. There's the competition here is a hard thing to describe in Minneapolis because it's not as an Olympic athlete would describe competition. Like there's a funny weird thing about you would gravitate to Minneapolis in the same way that I don't know, a Greek city-state would gravitate to their city-state. You'd want everyone to kind of survive, or
Yeah.
we want everyone to do well. You certainly wouldn't want anyone to go out of business.
No.
Like you wouldn't want that
No, that's just bad.
because who the fuck would you talk to? Like
Yeah.
who would you call up on a Saturday night? There'd be nobody there. But I don't know. It's a weird town, and I've lived out of the city and lived abroad a little bit doing work, and felt very, very good coming back here just because I feel very, very welcome and cool to be here. So I'm very glad you're here. I'm very glad you stay here, and you haven't migrated to some
Foreign.
you haven't gone to
crazy-
haven't gone to Indonesia or something slightly more exotic and leaving our environs.